Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started now. For those that are new or maybe on for the first time, my name is Bob Wagner, and my wife April are your hosts on Monday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. This is what we refer to as our fast start training, and really it's two things that we do. We want to make sure you're informed on anything new, that's going on that you may not have heard about. And make sure that you're up to speed with just what's going on in general and what's working. And it's where I get a lot of my trainings from, or all the Zooms and three-way calls that I do for distributors, is where I get a lot of material. Okay. And, if you got to realize if one person, is dealing with certain things, then many people are dealing with certain things, especially when there's thousands in your organization, it becomes a pretty common denominator. So anyway, please feel free to pass on, when you get the video, pass it on to your team, whatever you want to do with it. But again, it's every Monday, 7 p.m., unless Monday happens to be a federal holiday, and, then we'll do it on Tuesday. So anyway, let me get started. Today is June 22nd. We got 9 days left in the month. And for those of you that could be new or may not be familiar with this, generally the last third of the month, you do as much business or more than the first 2/3 of the month. And you say, well, how does that work? We're already 21 days into it. Well, it's called momentum and it's called leverage. And see, everything that's happened, every customer you brought in, every distributor you brought in, or every person you've reached out to, everyone that's become a prospect, everyone you talk to, it all comes together and there's a snowball effect that takes place at the end of the month. So that's why the last third of the month is generally worth as much or more volume than the first 2/3 of the month because of all of that. And then, of course, we have the placement of distributors and customers. So like right now, I think we got, I don't know, this is kind of April's department, but we got 8 or 10 people in our holding tank that we can place wherever we want. And those of you that know us, you know how we work. Whoever does the most business during the month gets rewarded, okay? We reward good behavior, okay? And so at the end of the month, that could turn a silver distributor into a platinum. That could turn one distributor into a Pro 2 or a Pro 3 in the business. So there's a lot of good things that happen the last, third of the month. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that for the next few minutes, okay? First thing I'd like you to do is, if you don't know what your volume number is, when we're done, just log in and check it. It's called your OV, organizational volume. That means everyone below you plus yourself, that number, those two things are added together, and that's your number. And then you can always go to the compensation plan, or you can go to our profit and loss statement and average earnings of a distributor that, on Yahoo Finance, but we have all that stuff printed out. And you could see what the difference is to get from the rank that you are to the next rank, okay? And this business is all about you rank advancing and helping others rank advance. It's so easy. That's really the only thing that we're doing. We have goals to rank advance ourselves and help others rank advance. And how do you do that? Well, we do that by putting on customers. And just so you know how it works, customers are going to be 80% of the business. So 4 out of every 5 people that you sign up will be a customer, and the 5th one will be a distributor. Once you've got some numbers in, that's how it works, okay? And I can tell you, we have about 7,000 or 8,000 people in our business, and that's how it works, okay? That's the numbers after 2.5 years. So, and when I've compared that, and when I've talked to, whether it be Tara or Rachel or Brandon or Gabe, it's the same for everybody. If you're doing it right, then that's how it works, okay? So So what do we do at the end of the month? Well, we have an opportunity to leverage like what's already happened. And, I call it, it's kind of like being a Monday morning quarterback, but in football, but the game's still going on. Okay. You got leverage when you have customers and distributors in your holding tank. There's a lot of opportunity that exists out there. Okay. If you're new, it don't matter to you if you're new. But if you've been around a little bit, then it does. Okay. Because this is a business where you earn while you're learning. Okay. So in the beginning, you just got to pile them on, man. You got to bring as many customers in and as many distributors in as you can. And your upline, your sponsor will guide you on what the best moves are with those people. Okay. But after you're seasoned and you understand maximizing the compensation plan and keeping your business balanced, and this is advanced stuff for new people. Okay. But once you understand that, then it's really second nature stuff. It's very, very simple business. We're just rank advancing and helping others rank advance. Now, why is June important? Well, the company had a couple $1 million extra that they didn't know what to do with. And they decided to make it available to distributors for just hitting a rank that they've already been at. Okay, so whether that's Pro 3, Pro 4, Pro 5, or Pro 6, whatever that may be, you hit that rank, okay, and you get a bonus, okay? And I mean, the bonus is anywhere from $250 to $2,500. And we had it in May, and we had 8 of our teammates make it, okay? Now it's June, we're gonna have more than that in June, but then if you make it in June, it gets to carry over in July. Okay, so like, let's say if you didn't hit it in May and you hit it in June, you get to do July. Okay, so any details on that I can go over with you. And again, if you knew, it doesn't matter. You need to be piling on customers and distributors. If you knew, the rest takes care of itself. But if you already have business going on, if you already have things in your holding tank, if you already have some and you want to talk about it, just text me and I'll give you a good time that we can talk. And we'll do that, okay? So next thing I want to talk about is check your numbers, like I said, your volume, and then the follow-up is where all the money is in this business. And when you understand that follow-up is not about being afraid to hear the word no, and you understand that follow-up is where all the money is earned, when that light bulb or that light switch gets turned on in your head, when you really understand that, that's when the fun starts, okay? That's like dialing for dollars. When you know that it's gonna take 6 to 8 touches. Now, I'm not saying you can't get lucky and get someone on the first try, and I'm not saying some people won't take a dozen tries, okay? Both of those are true. But again, when you're doing the business steadily, like April and I do, okay? It takes an average of 6 to 8 touches. That means follow-ups, checking in with them, showing them a video, calling them up, sending a reminder text, sending an email. It's 6 to 8 touches before we get a yes. Okay, that's the average. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about tonight is everybody listening and everyone that tunes in to this, to this this video training in the future when it's posted on YouTube. You got to mix up your follow-up. And if you don't have, if you're not used to doing something, you need to learn, okay? One thing about this industry, it stops for nobody, okay? And the way we did things 15, 20, 25 years ago no longer work. It doesn't work anymore. And we need to be in modern times. What does that mean? Well, number one, always going to be king or queen, okay, is a phone call. Phone call is king. It's the only thing that gives you the temperature of the person and the situation. You can see exactly where you are with a person on the phone. But besides the phone, it's very, very common now that people text message. It's very common if you're international that they use WhatsApp. If you don't Facebook message, you know, PM, they call it personal message on Facebook, you're in the dark ages. That's the way a lot of people do things these days. Okay. So what I mean is we need to mix it up. If you're following up with somebody and maybe you haven't heard back, okay, maybe the 2 or 3 emails you sent them went into spam and they never got the first one. How are you going to know if you keep emailing them? So you got to text them, you got to call them, you got to instant message them, you got to reach out another way. That's why I said the phone is always the best. Okay. But you got to mix it up. It's, you know, it's just how it is these days, especially if it's cold market, you know, where you don't know what their normal routine is. You know, if you get online, like so many people use Facebook now to do business, okay, and all the social media, but Facebook is by far the most successful one that people use, okay? If you're dealing with someone that's not on Facebook, well, obviously you can't personally message them, okay? They're not on Facebook, okay? So it's gonna be an email or a text message with them, okay? But you gotta give a little thought to it. You gotta mix it up until you know the best regular way of reaching that person, okay? And you'd be surprised, okay, how many people signed up for Facebook 6, 8 years ago and never used it. You'd be surprised. And I know there's 2.5 billion people on it, but that means there's 5 billion people in the world, okay, and that's counting third world countries, not on it. So 2 out of every 3 people in the world are not on it, but I'd say 2 out of every 3 people in the United States are on it, okay, if not more. So you just got to keep that in mind. You got to mix it up. If you have continuously texted and gotten no reply, email, especially email, okay, because that can easily go into spam or junk, okay, then you got to mix it up, pick up the phone and call, okay? One thing's for sure, they may let a strange number go to voicemail, leave a nice professional message. But if you know the phone number is good, the one thing that'll always happen, call first, leave a message first, but then the next time you reach out, text, because you know the phone was good. It went to voicemail, you know that. And the one thing about a text, you know, people can say whatever they want. Every one of us looks at a text when the phone buzzes, when we get that text down on our phone. We all do. That doesn't mean we respond. It doesn't mean we save it. It doesn't mean any of that, but it does mean we look at it, okay? And so mix it up, okay? Now, next, because I only got 20 minutes, so I only got 7 minutes left. The people that have had the most success closing out the, not even closing out the month, but certainly closing out the months, and we, like I said, we're down to our last 9 days, are the people that do the most 3-way calls and most 3-way Zooms. Okay, it's not even close. And I don't want you to think that doing a 3-way call or doing a 3-way Zoom minimizes your talent or your experience. It doesn't. Okay, but if you do the whole thing yourself, keep in mind, okay, obviously I don't need help, okay, with closing somebody. April doesn't need help with closing someone, but a lot of times, most times, we still bring in a third party to introduce them to the person for this reason. That person that we bring in can validate us. They could talk about the $15 million we made in our prior company. They could talk about how we made Pro8 in just 2 years with LifeVantage. Okay, they can brag on us and talk about us, and we don't have to talk about ourselves. But more important, we're showing the person how it works. There's the team. And it starts by inviting somebody and giving them the ABC prime time. It continues by following up and getting them to watch a half-hour Tuesday opportunity video. And then it continues because you bring a teammate on as an expert to answer all their questions. See, that's the formula. That's the special sauce on the Big Mac from McDonald's. That's the formula. Okay, invite, use your tool, and use your team. Okay, that's how it works. So just because you're talented enough to do it all by yourself doesn't mean you skip steps. Because when that person gets involved and you didn't do it the right way with them and they don't have your special skills, guess what? They can't do it because they don't have your talent and you didn't do the system the right way with them. It'd be like me buying a McDonald's, franchise. And I say, your Big Macs are good and your fries are okay and this, but I'm going to change it up because the people that live in Orlando, they'd rather have it this way. And I'm just going to change it. How long do you think McDonald's would let me have the franchise if I changed their formula? So in LifeVantage, it's not a franchise. We own our own distributorship, but we duplicate the same way a franchise does. So we need to remember to use the system, okay? Even though there's many a time we're good enough and capable of doing it on our own, you still use the system. So start lining up those three-way calls and those three-way Zooms. They should normally be the same day that you talk to the person. The very farthest away is tomorrow, the next day. You don't plan them way out, okay? Like if you're talking to someone in the afternoon, see if they want to talk with your team leader or your sponsor tonight. If you're talking to someone tonight, see if they want to talk to them in the morning. You want to make this stuff happen quick and keep the ball rolling. Now, let me just check my notes here, okay? Make sure when you are lining up that three-way call or that three-way Zoom that you've taken a couple minutes to let your sponsor or your upline teammate know about the prospect, okay? And make sure your prospect understands the person they're talking to is an expert and a professional, okay? So make sure they're familiar with each other. Everything goes much easier, okay? But let me, I just want to remind you, we have Tuesday and Thursday, our chats at 6 o'clock Eastern. So obviously that will be tomorrow. But let me read, I want to read this to you. It was really cool. I'm personally messaging prospects on Facebook, okay? And they're my contacts. And most of them are my contacts because we had 30, 40, in some cases, maybe 100 mutual friends or mutual contacts, according to Facebook. Now, for me, a lot of that sprung off of high school, okay? Because April and I went to high school together and we went to a school that was pretty big. And we knew 3 years worth of kids, the year ahead of us, our class, and the year behind us. And each class had 700 or 800 graduates. So, it was a pool of maybe, 22, 2,400 people. And it grew from there, okay? So that's where most of my contacts are. So let me read this to you. This lady's name, I'm just gonna use first name and stuff. Her name was Janet. And we had some common, when I looked at her profile, there was some common denominators, but the big ones were 30 or 40 of the same contacts, and lives on Long Island, okay, about 30 miles or so from where we lived, okay? That's really the only thing. So I said, here's a message I send out. It says, "Hello, Janet, hope this message finds you safe and well. Forgive me for being direct, but most people seem to appreciate it. My wife and I are network marketing professionals. We've spent 25 years with our first company in the nutritional and wellness industry and earned millions." Now, you could use the same thing and leave out the millions unless you did earn millions, okay? We've been with our new company for 2.5 years now, and it's growing faster than the first company did. The video link below will tell you a little bit more about us and our new business opportunity. Would you please take 3 minutes to watch it and consider allowing us to share more information with you? Have a blessed day and stay safe. Regards, Bob and April Wagner. So that video is the one of me and April when they did the interview when we won the Jeep. Okay, it's my live venture. So that's the video that I used. So it was about an hour later, okay, and I get a message back from her. Now remember, I don't know this person, okay, so it just some common denominators there. But she said, "Thank you so much," and oh my God, OMG, oh my God, that is so awesome. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Bobby. I'm sorry, I was reading out of place. Hi, Bobby. Nice to meet you. I appreciate the directness and honesty. I'm already a leader in another network marketing company, and I'm happy where I am. So I really appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for the message. I really liked it. Okay, so this is a leader in a network marketing company, just being polite and letting me know that she already does this professionally. Okay, so I wrote back saying, that's awesome. Congratulations. Having been in the industry, I understand the dedication it takes to reach that level. Wishing you nothing but much more continued success. And then, you know me, I can be a little funny with stuff. I said, if your team ever pisses you off and you want to vent without doing any harm to your business, feel free to reach out and, have a good night. Well, she got a kick out of that. She said, thank you so much. And oh my God, that is so awesome. I really appreciate it. And I may take you up on it. It's so nice to meet you. I love connecting with other network marketers. Honestly, what company are you with? And by the way, I'm also a life coach and leadership coach. I'm not really sure what that is, but what it tells me is she may be a leader in another company, but she's not full-time because she's whatever, a life coach and leadership coach, whatever that is, okay? So I told her we were top earners with Wellness International from 92 to 17, and stayed with it all the way up to October of 2017 when they closed the doors. And we became free agents and, considered some things and decided on LifeVantage, and that was 2.5 years ago. And this just kept going and going and going and going. It ends up, she's with a company that's been out there 25, 30 years. I know them well. And she's been with them for 9 years. But, we would text them back and forth for a half hour. And the way it was left is, it would be great to talk, when I'm confused or frustrated or whatever, I can't show it to my downline and I can't call my upline. And, so I said, well, that's kind of my point. It's a little lonely at the top and you don't always have, somebody to talk to. And that was the whole reason I said it. But, she's with another company, but we're going to establish a relationship. She knows I'm from Long Island. She knows me in April moved to Florida. She just bought a condo in Jupiter so she can split time between Long Island and Florida. And who knows? Okay, so it wasn't a yes, but it was a good contact created and a lot of dialogue went back and forth, and it wasn't vicious and it wasn't mean and it wasn't mean-spirited. It was mutual respect from one leader to another. And if something ever happens, and I can tell you this as a fact, okay, I'm not going to tell you what company she's with or anything like that, but the Federal Trade Commission sent out 33 letters about companies making claims on their products, and her company was one of them to get a letter. Okay, there were 33 of them, so that don't really put her in a bad spot, but so you never know. Okay, and I'm meeting with someone tomorrow morning that came from baseball and coaching back when Chad was playing, and and all of this is because of Facebook. Okay, so the follow-up and mixing up the follow-up is really, really important. Okay, you have to remember they don't always get your message when you follow up, and depending on what's going on in their life, it just may not be important to them at that moment. So that's why sometimes it could take 12 tries on the long end, okay? On the short end, it could be 1 or 2. But it averages out that it's going to take 6 to 8 contacts to get somebody to become a customer or a distributor. And when you know that, then you fall in love with the process and you divorce the results. You don't worry about the yes or no that day. You run your numbers like you should, and you follow up like you should, and you be a professional like you should, and the rest will take care of itself. But if you don't run the numbers, then nothing will take care of itself. So let's have a big 9 days. Give us some new names to brag about, okay? We know the 8 that got big cash money last month, okay? And we were one of them, but let's double that up and get the 8 getting it again and get 8 new ones on top of that and get 16 or 20 people getting bonuses. But I'm out of time for tonight. If there's anything that I spoke about tonight that you'd like to know a little bit more in detail, I still have a couple 3-way calls to do tonight, so I probably can't talk about it tonight, but text me and we could set up a time tomorrow to go over it, or if I can answer it by text, I just will, okay? But everyone have a great evening, have a great week. We wanna have a real big push for 9 days, and then I believe the middle of next week is July 1st, and the 4th of July weekend is gonna be like long. Okay, it's Wednesday to like Sunday. It's going to be a long break, and I think everyone's looking forward to it and can really can use it. But anyway, that's it for me tonight. Have a great evening. We appreciate all you do, and April and I are ready to help you anytime you need it. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.